So apparently fighting back against billionaires is a lot easier when you're flying like one. This weekend, Bernie Sanders gave what might be one of the worst defenses for using private jets, all while calling for the downfall of, you guessed it, private jet billionaires. Let's unpack what happened, why it blew up, and what this says about political hypocrisy in general. Bernie's been racking up serious flight miles on private jets while campaigning across the country, including his recent Fight the Oligarchs rallies with AOC. And when confronted about it, instead of giving a thoughtful response, Bernie's gave us this gem.
Gotten criticized from other people. Free Beacon says Bernie Sanders spent $221,000 on private jets fighting the Oligarchy tour, paid for by friends of Bernie Sanders. That you've spent millions of dollars in campaign funds on private jet travel over the years. How do you push back on both of those things?
When's the last time you saw Donald Trump during a campaign mode at National Airport?
No. It doesn't. But he's also not fighting the oligarchy.
No. You run a campaign and you do 3 or 4 or 5 rallies in a week. The only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people. Think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United waiting, 30,000 people are waiting? That's the only way you can get around. No apologies for that. That's what campaign travel is about. We've done it in the past. We're going to do it in the future.
Yeah, that was his answer. I mean, he's not wrong that campaign schedules are brutal. But the problem isn't the jets, it's the attitude. According to the FEC, the Sanders campaign committee has spent more than $200,000 on private jets just in the last quarter. But what do you think? Is it fair for Bernie to fly private while campaigning against billionaires? Or is this just political reality? Let's be real here. Every major candidate flies private. Trump, Obama, Biden, it's baked into the game. You can't do 5 rallies in 5 states and rely on United to get you there. But Bernie's response to being called out on his excessive private jet use, despite being the champion against billionaire oligarchs, was so bad that even CNN cringed.
Tell me what the moment was in that answer that you thought, oh, this is going wrong.
The United thing. Because we all, you're a man of the people. How dare I have to be with the people, right? That's what, look, it's a cheap question. It's a smart alecky question. So it wasn't a serious question. It was kind of trolly. But his answer was terrible. You can't defend this answer. Hey, buddy, we all have to stand in line. We all have to do this. Even if you have 1K privileges, you're still standing in line. You still have to do this. You got to go through security.
It definitely came across as I'm not going to stand in this line with peons.
So when you've built your brand on being the man of the people, the scrappy underdog fighting the rich, maybe don't sneer at the idea of sitting in coach with the people you claim to represent. But the overall issue is that Democrats have a strong branding issue. People don't know what they stand for, and while Bernie is probably doing the most out of anyone on that side to resolve this issue, we are seeing even he is struggling.
Obviously, there is a lot to be passionately against right now, but it has to travel with a clearer picture of what we are for.
Our party is unified in making sure that we stand up and deliver on the promises that we've made to the American people.
We can't just be the party that is against Donald Trump. We have to show people how we are providing an alternative message, especially for our young people that are losing faith.
Does this kind of hypocrisy completely ruin their message? Is this truly about flying private, or is this a broader issue of bad Democrat messaging? Democrats fail to understand something Trump gets really well. Symbolism matters, tone matters, attitude matters. Bernie had a chance to acknowledge the contradiction, even joke about it, and instead he doubled down with arrogance while continuing to fight the oligarchy. So what is this fighting the oligarchy tour that has Bernie Sanders defending his use of private jets while traveling? Well, since February, Sanders and AOC have been touring districts Biden won in the 2020 election, but Republican House members took in 2024. This is basically one huge PR campaign after the Democrats' major loss in the last election. But Sanders is using billionaires like Elon Musk to showcase his political talking points.
Elon Musk contributed $277 million to get Donald Trump elected president. And he was rewarded with the most important position in government. In other words, he put out the money and he got what he paid for. Trump also nominated 13 other billionaires to head various government agencies. So almost all the guys who are running the government are billionaires.
And now we have this ongoing debate about the proper place billionaires have in politics. Yes, wealthy individuals like Elon and Bezos have been more political in recent years. However, Sanders is conveniently leaving out more obvious left-leaning characters such as George Soros and his son.
Forms of society.
Well, I would note that President Biden gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to two people who I think would qualify for his oligarchs. So
this is not a condemnation of any one individual. I'm just asking you, would so few people have so much wealth and power?
But
do you think that that is an oligarchic form of society?
Senator, I think it depends on the ability to move up and down the income.
No, that's not really the answer. I mean, even if you had that mobility, no matter who those individuals might be.
Meanwhile, in April, Sanders and AOC were filmed by Fox News boarding a $15,000 per hour private jet to attend tour stops. And critics like NRCC's Ben Peterson are calling him out for what he calls champagne socialism, blasting the hypocrisy of flying private jets while demanding Americans give up their trucks, AC, and burgers. But political analyst Mark Shanahan argues this is principle versus pragmatism. He says Sanders is taking a page from Trump's playbook, recognizing that face-to-face engagement still matters, even if it means burning jet fuel. He goes on to say, nobody questions private planes during campaign season. Sanders is just issue campaigning out of season. His main point, if Sanders stays home and live streams from Vermont, no one listens. On the ground, he draws crowds. At the end of the day, Bernie Sanders is trying to take on the oligarchy.
And that is, over the last month, I and my House colleague, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, have been traveling the country in what I've called a fighting oligarchy tour. I've been to Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, Nevada, Colorado, and Arizona, and the turnouts have been extraordinary. In Denver, we had more than 34,000 people turn out, the largest rally I have ever been a part of. And what I have learned from all of these rallies and meeting thousands and thousands of people is that the people of our country are sick and tired of Trumpism. They are tired of oligarchy. They are tired of authoritarianism, and they are prepared to fight back.
While flying like one. That contradiction is the story. But maybe the real question is this: do we care more about the message or the messenger's mileage? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you're sick of media double standards, and subscribe for more news breakdowns. I'll see you in the next one.